What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the workbench. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to restring and set up a Floyd Rose. I know it can be a bit challenging, it's a bit scary, but trust me, it's fine and you'll get the hang of it, don't worry. So before we get started, make sure you cover your surface and you properly prop up your neck, either with a neck block or something cheap like a roll of paper towels or a pillow. Just make sure it's protect our neck from extra pressure. So first things first, let's block our trem. So you can use something called a trem block, which you can purchase on Amazon. Or you can literally take a sock, push down the whammy bar, and shove it in underneath. The main thing you want to be concerned about is damaging the rods on the back and the little tangs that are underneath the rods on your tremolo. You do not want to damage that. It will be a pain and you'll probably have to spend a lot of money replacing your tremolo. Okay, so we're gonna take our trem block or a sock and we're gonna go ahead and put it in underneath the bridge, just like so. So your bridge is now blocked off and it cannot go back down with the spring tension. That is very helpful. It'll make this process a lot easier. Trust me, do not just cut your strings off. It will slam the bridge down and damage it. Next step, grab yourself an Allen key or a multi-tool that will fit the bolts on the headstock where it locks the strings down at the nut. So now that you found an Allen key or a multi-tool that fits, go on ahead and take those bolts down just a little bit. Do not take them off all the way. Just undo them and slightly unscrew them and just leave them sit. About 3 turns is good. Also, side note, the Allen key that you used up here will also fit in the bridge down here as well. So once you have those loosened up, you can either take them off or leave them on, like I prefer. If you do take them off, make sure you keep track of the bolt and the nut part as well, because that'll be a pain if you cannot find it. Now go on ahead and grab yourself a string winder, or you can use your fingers and just lightly unwind the strings, not all the way, just to relieve some tension. Okay, so now that you've done that, let's take a look at the 12th fret. Okay, so now that we're here at the 12th fret, we're gonna go ahead and take our string cutters and we are gonna cut it right at the 12th fret. You can, in theory, cut them wherever, but like I stated in my previous video on how to set up guitars, I do the 12th fret because it leaves me an almost even string length to wrap them up and throw them away. So now that you have those cut, let's take a look at the headstock. Okay, taking a look at the headstock, if you left your nuts on like I did, you can go on ahead and just take the string, push it under, like so. Pull it the rest of the way through and unwrap them. Push it in, grab it on the back side behind the nut. It can be a little tricky. And then pull it through. And then unwrap it. Go on ahead and repeat that for all 6 strings. Now if you took them off, it's just as simple as taking them off like a normal guitar without a Floyd Rose. Okay, so now that you have the strings off the headstock, go on ahead and check the tuning machines to see if they are wiggling at all. Mine are not, but if they were, you can buy this little tool from Nomad and put it on the nut and just tighten it up. Or you can use a socket as well. I prefer the socket. This is just a nice handy little tool that's also good for lifting pots off a guitar. Okay, so now we're down here at the bridge. We're going to take our multi-tool and just slowly, 1 turn at a time, and check the tension of the string. 1 turn at a time, check the tension on the string. So 3 turns seems to be good. There are these little blocks in the tremolo that will come out if you pull too hard, so be very, very, very careful. Do not pull hard because these blocks will come out and they're a pain to reseat, or if you lose them, they're a pain to replace. Go on ahead and do that for all 6 strings. Sometimes what is helpful down here on these lower strings is once you've undone the bolt in the rear, you put your Allen key on top and wiggle the strings up and out so the block stays in place. Okay, so now is also a good time as any to make sure that your fine tuners on the back are level. It should be about 50-50 from being screwed in, so you have room for adjustment either higher or lower. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure mine are set. Okay, I have mine set and they should be flush as you run your finger over them or as close as possible. Again, before we make final tuning, we will make an adjustment to those as well just to check them. Okay, so now we have our strings fully off and we have our fine tuners set to flat. Let's go ahead and get rid of our extra strings. So I showed in my previous video, which we placed up there, You can go watch and I'll show the full detail how to polish the frets, how to clean your fretboard and all that jazz, but today we're just gonna go over the steps of how to set up the Floyd Rose. So when you take these, just go ahead and wrap them through, take them, wrap them, tuck them under, tuck them through. There you go, just like that. So now we have our strings off, let's go on ahead and clean the fretboard and the body of the guitar. Okay, the fretboard's clean, let's go ahead and clean the body. Now we've cleaned the body, let's go ahead and polish it up. Okay, so now that the guitar is cleaned and the fretboard is hydrated, if you wanted to see how to do that, click the linked video again up there. We're gonna be replacing the strings right now. So I'm using Ernie Ball 10 through 46s, and it is important that you keep with the same string gauge as what you previously have used with your Floyd Rose or what you bought it with. You're able to find that on the manufacturer's website on what they're shipped with. If you want to change string gauges, that's perfectly fine. I'll go over how to address that in the setup because it will cause your bridge to dip or to rise, and that causes the spring tension to be unbalanced between the springs and the strings. So make sure you stick with consistent tunings and strings. If you want to change it, we'll address that later. So let's go on ahead and get these strings opened up. Okay, we have our strings opened up. Again, like I said in my last video, make sure that you leave them in their stack unless you know the order of which your strings go. It's pretty easy. The thickest one, which is the biggest number, goes on the low E side, and then it works its way down to the smallest number. But if you don't know that, make sure you keep them in the stack. So we have our low E. Let's open it up here. Here it is. So let's go over the first step. Okay, so we're over here by the string, and this is the first step, and you're going to do this to every single one of your strings. So you have a little wound here at the bottom with this little knob thingy. You are going to go until you feel where the string starts. So you'll feel a little wrap right here, and the string will start. So you're going to go on ahead and take your cutters and cut right above that wrap. Make sure to hold it whenever you cut it so that you don't lose this piece, because you will step on it later and that's how you'll find it, and it sucks. So take that piece and throw it away. Okay, so now that we have the end of that string cut, go on ahead and insert it into the block where the low E string sits. Make sure that that block is in there and seated just with your finger. Take the string and push it all the way to the bottom. You will feel it bottom out. That is what you want. Next up, grab your Allen key that you're using earlier to unlock these nuts and go on ahead and tighten it up. Make sure you're keeping downward pressure the whole time. Tighten it until it gets really snug. So you shouldn't really be able to turn it much more, but you don't want to over tighten it. It is imperative that you do not over tighten it, or else you will strip the block, and that will cause a whole nother nightmare of an issue too. Just be calm, be tedious, and you'll be fine. Do not overturn that. Now, to make sure that the block is seated, go on ahead and grab yourself a Phillips head screwdriver and just push down onto the block. That's how you know if the block is seated. If it moves at all, then you know the block is not seated and you have to redo it. So now that string is inside the block. Let's go up to the headstock and I'll show you how to insert it. Okay, so we're up here at the headstock. We are going to go on ahead, and if you left your nut on like me, take your finger, lift it up, slide it through. And now you have this little string tree right here. Since it's a low E string, it's gonna go on the outside of the screw, and same thing with the low E or high E string. Go on ahead and get your tuner lined up. Insert your string through. Pull it tight. Grab at the fretboard. Pull up until you have about right up to your knuckle-ish on your thumb. And I do a little bit of a pull back right there. Go on ahead and wind it up like this. Move that out of the way first. Wind it up with the string coming in towards you. All strings should be pointing towards the middle of the headstock. This headstock is weird shaped, I know. Now the string will bind like this. Go on ahead and pull it through, or else it'll whip around and it'll get you. Trust me. Okay, just get it so it's kind of tight and you can hear some noise from it. But you're gonna go on ahead and do that, and you're gonna alternate from the low E to the high E, to the A to the B, to the D to the G. You're gonna do that because it's gonna keep equal tension on the Floyd Rose the whole time. So it's never one side's too heavy and one side's too light. Okay, we have the first string installed. We're gonna continue with the rest, and we're gonna repeat those steps. So I'm gonna start by cutting the end of the string with the little brass round thing on it. Make sure the string is lined up in the middle of the block with downward pressure. I know it's hard with these really thin high E strings, but trust me, you got this. And do not over tighten. Just get it nice and snug. Okay, so now you've successfully restrung a Floyd Rose. Congratulations. What we gotta do now is carefully, and I mean carefully and slowly, remove the trem block or your sock or whatever you're using to block the tremolo, and slowly let it down. It will increase the pitch of your strings. So if you really tighten them up, like to a normal E pitch, whenever you were restringing it, it is going to be way out of tune and way too high. So just keep that in mind and be careful, because like right now, sounds lovely. So since we have gotten this far, let's go on and hop into the studio and we'll finish out the rest of the video. Okay, now we're back here in the studio with our restrung guitar. We are going to go on ahead and again make sure our fine tuners are flat and about 50-50. So halfway down, halfway out of the guitar, and mine are. So now let's go on ahead and get our guitar tuned up. So the best way to do this and tune the guitar is go E, E, A, B, D, G. Just like how you strung the guitar. That'll help keep an even tension on the guitar, and it'll help the tuning process, because this first tune is gonna suck. Prepare to spend 20 to 30 minutes just getting this guitar in tune. In between each tuning, take the whammy bar, just push down, or individually stretch each string, and that'll make this process go a lot faster. So just do it, bear with me. It's gonna be tedious, you got this. Okay, so now that I'm tuning, I did realize I put the wrong set of strings on. Instead of 10 through 52s, I put on 10 through 46s, which is okay. That's what I use for E standard anyway. I might as well just switch it over. But what that means is I need to make adjustments to the springs, which is perfect because I'm gonna show you guys anyway. So my bridge currently right now, I don't know if you can see that, is sitting deep in the body. It is concave down like that. So you have these little springs on the back. Some of you guys might have a cover, you have to take the cover off. This is nice, Schecter ported it, so you don't have to take it off. So if your bridge is sitting high off the body, you need to tighten the springs. So you need to come to the back and evenly, so do 3 turns, retune, check it. It is a tedious process, again, just like tuning. So it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be a great time. But since my bridge is sitting down to the body, I need to loosen the springs. So I'm gonna get through that and I'm gonna do a time lapse so you guys can watch how I do this. Okay, I did about 3 turns and I'm gonna go ahead and retune. Okay, I retuned and the bridge is starting to come up slightly, but I need to loosen the springs more. So I'm gonna do about 3 turns again. Okay, we're getting very, 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 very close. So this is where I'm gonna start doing 1 turn to half a turn. Also, please keep in mind when you're getting close like I am, that your strings will still stretch because they're new. So use the whammy bar or hand stretch them and let the guitar sit. Let it sit for about 10 minutes, then retune, then do it again. Let those strings stretch. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a quick break and let these strings stretch out. Okay, so I waited for a little while and I retuned it and I had to make a minor adjustment again, like I'm in an eighth of a turn, and I got that puppy right on the money. It is perfectly flush with the body, and that's exactly what you want. Now, if your Floyd Rose is sitting really high off the body and your action is super high off the fretboard, then you can take an Allen key and lower these 2 posts right here on the sides, right there and there, and that'll drop the whole Floyd Rose and recess it more into the body. And that is how you lower the action if you're up here on the fretboard. Now, to check your truss rod, you can check out the previous video like I stated. They'll be linked somewhere in the corners or whatever. Check that out, and I'll show you guys how to check your truss rod and how to make adjustments to that as well. For intonation wise, you have your screws down here, and you have to do it whenever your strings are off pretty much, which makes it very hard. Most Floyd Roses come pretty well intonated out of the box. I've never had to touch the intonation on this guitar ever. So it's been intonated from the moment I got it to now. If you did make adjustments, again, very minor, but there's only certain screw holes that you can put the post position in. So there's templates online for like a certain scale length intonation. So make sure you follow that online. Make sure your Floyd Rose is set before you put the strings on. But yeah, now the guitar is set up and in tune. So the only thing left to do is lock the nut down. So you're gonna take the Allen key again and lock it down. Going ahead and get it finger tight first. Once you have it finger tight, going ahead, put the Allen key in and just snug it over. Again, not too tight to strip it, but you want it snug. If you strip it, you have to replace the whole nut, which is just, it's not hard, but it does cost money, and I hate spending money. Okay, now that you have the nut locked down, go on ahead and tune it up, but this time you're gonna use the fine tuners on the rear of the bridge. Okay, once you've tuned it up using the fine tuners, you're now in tune. And you have successfully restrung your Floyd Rose guitar and set it up as well. Congratulations, that is awesome. So you will probably have to undo the tension at the nut, reset the fine tuners, and tune it a few more times just as the strings stretch out ever so slightly. Keep an eye though as the strings stretch on if the bridge starts to come up or not, or go down. If that's the case, then obviously you'll have to make adjustments there. But it's not the end of the world. Those are minor things. Now that you know how to do that, you're good to go. Just make sure it's you use the fine tuners in the rear. I know it's tempting to reach up here and grab the tuning pegs and tune it while the nut's locked, but that will cause a whole bunch of tuning issues, and you have to start basically from square one retuning it, and it's a nightmare. So yeah, congratulations, great job. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope this was helpful. If you guys do want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below, or whatever content you guys want to see. I'm happy to make anything that you guys want to see. But I hope this was helpful, and if it was, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.